from Dr. Milton Wolf, who is running in the Republican primary in Kansas against Senator Pat Roberts of Alexandria, Virginia. And he said, look, this thing in Mississippi is so infuriating. I really want to talk about it. Milt, how are you doing, sir?
Hey, doing great. Let me at least take a moment to congratulate Thad Cochran for winning the Democratic primary in Mississippi.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But all joking aside, this is deadly serious. It's not just our party that's at risk. Our republic itself hangs in the balance. And tonight, we conservatives must suit up in our full armor. The establishment Republicans, the NRSC, they've joined leagues with liberal Democrats to declare open war on conservative Republicans. I mean, I'm telling you, I refuse to sit idly by as they turn my party, the party of Ronald Reagan, into the party of food stamps. I mean, we've got to stand up and fight, and I'm calling on all patriots in America to join us right here in Kansas. And I'm going to declare war right on the NRSC themselves. And they've handpicked their favorite NRSC candidate right here in Kansas, and it's Pat Roberts. He's like Thad Cochran, but worse. I mean, he's been in Washington for 47 years. He votes for Obama's tax hikes and debt ceilings. And
wait a minute. He's been in Congress 47 years?
He's been in Washington for 47 years. He's been a staffer for, believe it or not, he was a staffer for Keith Sebelius, father-in-law of Kathleen Sebelius, for, 14 years before he was first elected into Congress in 1980. When he first was elected into the Congress, he hadn't lived in Kansas for 18 years, and he never lived in his district. In fact, his first official address, he's never lived in his supposed hometown of Dodge City. He used a vacant lot in Dodge City as his official address. He's a Virginian, and I think Kansans should get 2 senators, and Virginia does not need 3.
Milton Wolf, tell us, are they pulling the same kind of tactics? Not exactly the same kind of tactics. The Chamber of Commerce pouring money in there? Are they getting poised to try and overwhelm you?
The Chamber has endorsed Pat Roberts. The pro-amnesty, pro-Common Core Chamber has endorsed Pat Roberts. And the party surrounds the wagons around him. Look, he wouldn't qualify for in-state tuition, and yet they impaneled a board of people who had endorsed Pat Roberts to declare that he gets to stay on the ballot anyway. This is how the political machine works. But if you really want to know, if you're curious who the party boss is, who's making all these boneheaded decisions, not just in Kansas, but in Mississippi and around the country, his name is Senator Jerry Moran. He is the chairman of the NRSC, and interestingly enough, he's actually from right here in Kansas. And his hand-chosen candidate, Pat Roberts, well, he's next. Kansas is the battlefield. Kansas is ground zero, and I'm holding Jerry Moran personally responsible for the Mississippi betrayal.
And that's a good point. Excuse me. Jerry Moran was a moderate running in a Republican primary for the Senate nomination a few years ago. He claimed to be a conservative. He now serves at the right hand of Mitch McConnell. He is an establishment Republican, and he is quietly using the National Republican Senatorial Committee at the direction of Mitch McConnell to fund all these incumbents, to fund all the establishment candidates. Do the people of Kansas know this?
They're learning it quickly. They're outraged, in fact. They are livid. They're as livid as the people in Mississippi. Look what the NRSC did. These donors, these are Republican donors who sent their hard-earned money to the NRSC for the express purpose of beating Democrats. We watched as the NRSC spent over $200,000 in Mississippi. They sent 45 staffers there to knock on 50,000 doors during this runoff. They made 18,000 phone calls from the NRSC, not to defeat a Democrat, but to defeat a conservative Republican. They have waged an all-out war on conservatives, and it's time that we mount up. It's time that we suit up in our full armor, and we declare the war on the NRSC. I tell people on the trail that I want to be that one who hangs that going out of business sign on the IRS. Well, I think we need to fit one on the door of the NRSC as well.
You've been a doctor, not a politician, and you're well read on philosophy and politics. You didn't need to get into this, but you got into this because you're concerned about the future of the country. You actually do live in Kansas. What kind of reception are you getting? I know you don't have the kind of money that you need. We'll talk about that in a moment. But are people knowing who you are, and are they giving you a positive reception?
Well, you're right. They have done all sorts of things to me. They make all sorts of claims about me. They claim that I release private patient information when they know that's a lie. I've never had a patient complain about me doing that. They send trackers following me everywhere, even into my church. I mean, you would not believe these people. But here's the good news. You know, the American people get it, and Kansans get it. Last quarter, we actually outraised Pat Roberts among individual contributors. We're the only campaign in America to do that to a sitting United States senator. And our internal polling shows us this. While he enjoys a name recognition advantage, and why wouldn't he? He's been in Washington for 47 years. Among people who know us both, I'm actually beating him by 8 points, 51-43. Something big is happening in Kansas, and something big is happening across all of America.
What is your website if people want to learn more or give you support?
It's MiltonWolf.com, MiltonWolf.com. And here's the good news, Mark. The solution to these problems, they're before us. In fact, I think the solution of what's going on with the NRSC right now is in the listening audience right now. I mean, do the math. Those of us patriots who are fed up with Washington and fed up with the NRSC, fed up with the GOP establishment, if we band together, we can do this. And I'm inviting all patriots to suit up and come to Kansas. You know, if you've got the time, get in your car tonight. We'll put you on the battlefield with some happy conservative warriors. If you can contribute, get on the website, MiltonWolf.com. It makes a huge difference. The people in this audience tonight can put a stop to the NRSC in our last stand, our final stand right here in Kansas, and we can win this for conservatives.
When is the primary there?
It's August 5th. August 5th, there's time to get here, there's time to contribute, but start now. Tonight is the night. I'll tell you, you want to send a message to the NRSC, you want to send a message to Jerry Moran, who's making these boneheaded decisions, you want to send a message to a 47-year D.C. insider like Pat Roberts, contribute, volunteer, get on the website, say a prayer for our family, in fact. But, you know, I don't want to just send a career politician a message. I want to send a career politician home. And I know with the Patriots listening tonight, we can do that.
By the way, few people who've donated to your campaign said that you actually called them and thanked them yourself.
You know, if somebody gives of themselves, I don't know how to not take the time to do that. It's a rigorous schedule, but you know what? I was an intern once. I spent 36-hour shifts in the hospital. I know what it's like. I know how hard it is to earn $1. And I never take that for granted. Just like I never take for granted a patient who comes to me and puts their lives in my hands and asks me to make difficult decisions, the decisions between life and death. That's how I treat every supporter who's gotten involved, everybody who's pledged to vote or has contributed. We won't waste a dime. We won't waste your time. We have a mission here. Look, we've got a republic so long as we can keep it, and that question is, can our generation keep it? We've got to stand up and fight. We need more senators like Ted Cruz and Mike Lee and Rand Paul, and we need fewer career politicians. So I'm asking people to join. Get involved in Kansas at MiltonWolf.com.
You know, it amazes me the establishment has been successful at characterizing conservative challengers to these establishment Republicans as not as qualified, don't have the intelligence that their guys have. You're a doctor. You're a practicing doctor. Anybody listening to you has to be impressed with your intelligence and the arguments you're making and the points you're trying to advance. Same with Chris McDaniels. Same with several other people. In fact, our candidates are of a higher quality. You're of a higher quality than Pat Roberts. You've actually done more in a shorter lifetime than he's done.
There's so much to admire about Chris McDaniel. I'm so glad that you brought him up, and I agree. Remember Mississippi. You know, our founders believed in rotation in office. They believed in a citizen legislature. I do, too. I believe in term limits. I've limited myself to 2. I'll keep practicing medicine as a volunteer and temporarily, and on a temporary basis, while I'm or part-time basis while I serve. But my mission is clear, and my mission is twofold. And it's, number 1, save the Republican Party from itself. And number 2, save the Republic from the statist Democrats. And we're going to have to do it in that order. And Kansas is our battlefield, and this is where we will prevail.
Well, you know, Oklahoma sent Tom Coburn to Congress, to the House, and then the Senate, and he was a physician, or is a physician, and Kansas would do well by sending you to the Senate, and they'd have a great representative who would be among the people, and not in Alexandria, Virginia. I have nothing against Alexandria, Virginia, except you're right. It's the home of the putative senator of Kansas. Any final words, Milton Wolf? You know, we're going to win this, and we're going to win this primary, because there are so many patriots getting involved. You should come out and see our crowds when hundreds show up, and the donors who come in, and the volunteers who are spending their time, and to every one of them I owe more than a debt of gratitude.
It's a pay it forward. This is the fight. This is the pledge. I won't back up and I won't back down. I'm going to stand up to Barack Obama, the mainstream media, and even Mitch McConnell and anyone else who would have us behave like Democrats and behave like statists. Now is the time. Come to Kansas, MiltonWolf.com. We can win this.
Well, God bless you and good luck, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again, my friend.
Thank you, Mark. You have a great evening.
All right, take care. It's MiltonWolf.com. This guy is great.